All right, so in the last video, we got the basics down. We know how to use a belt, generally where to put it, how tight it needs to be, and also how to breathe into the belt. So in this video, we'll talk about what lifts you should use it on, and also basically the general purpose of why you would use a belt to begin with. So the lifts that I would recommend is gonna be any compound lift. So squat, deadlift, overhead press even, bench press, obviously the Olympic lifts like the snatch and the clean and jerk. Now you may be thinking to yourself, hold up Ryan, I've been to commercial gyms and I see people wearing weight belts on all kinds of different exercises. Let's talk about a couple. Bicep curls, lat pull down, and many other machine or isolation movements. And honestly, that is not necessary at all, unless you're going ridiculously heavy, and even then, there's really no reason to wear a weight belt on any isolation movement or machine movements. So one cool thing about weight belts, and it's a study I found, is that it can increase the weight you lift anywhere from 5 to 15%. So obviously that can be a lot of weight depending on the lift that you're talking about. But with that being said, I do not suggest wearing a weight belt unless you're going probably 85 or 90% of your 1 rep max. And even leading up to that. So say it's leg day, it's big squats today, right? You're going for that top single. Even going up to that single, I would maybe, for me personally, I'd put my weight belt on maybe the set before I'm going for my heaviest set. Because you still want to be activating and strengthening that transversus abdominis in your core in general and your back with all those warm-up sets. And that's why you should not wear a weight belt all the time, because it can become a crutch and you do not want your back muscles and core muscles to suffer because you're always wearing the weight belt. So even though it might be obvious, I've definitely seen it, you want to take the weight belt off in between attempts, because first of all, if you have it on, right, it's probably going to restrict your breathing a little bit. It shouldn't be comfortable, right? And for me personally, it's kind of that ritual of like when I'm going big, when I'm going heavy, I want to get that thing on, get that feeling of like, let's go, it's time to go. It's kind of my mental checklist of getting primed and ready to lift. So last thing we'll go over is the different types of weight belts. I have a couple here in my home gym. This one's obviously a leather one. This is a Pioneer weightlifting belt. Cool thing about this one is the adjustability that it has, because normally they'll have 1 row of holes, but you can see this one has offset holes. So as you get bigger, maybe if you're bulking or life happens, or if you're leaning down, maybe you're doing a bodybuilding show, these sort of things, you can really fine tune where your weight belt needs to be. And another cool thing about Pioneer is the customizability. And if anyone out there is familiar with Top Gear and the OG presenter, Jeremy Clarkson, you know that he loves speed and power. So that's what I did there. And then this belt, this would be a nylon weightlifting belt. And we'll also just talk about price really quick. This one's definitely gonna be a little bit more expensive than the nylon ones. And there's also a third type of belt, a lever belt, but I don't have one of those to show you. But essentially a nylon belt, it's gonna be a lot more flexible than a leather belt. So you see this a lot more in like the CrossFit type workouts, where you could be wearing this in between movements and easily adjust it with Velcro. So that's really all there is to it to weightlifting belts. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below or message me. I'd be happy to answer them. But to review really quick, use it on compound lifts. Don't get it too tight. And before you feel the need to get one or even use one, make sure you know how to properly breathe and brace that core.